Sorry about that. Just trying to set things up behind the scenes. So, probably the least favorite thing to watch on my YouTube channel when I'm doing live is copper foiling, from what I'm kind of gathering when I do my lives. Cutting glass and soldering seems to be the most interactive or the most interested, um, where people are most interested, is what I should say. But unfortunately, it is hotter than heck outside. It is so humid, and so I'm not able to be outside and do my lives right now. So I thought I would come on while I'm inside and do some copper foiling. I did end up getting a new roll. I was very desperate to try a brand. My other copper foil I noticed. Hey, Sue. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So this is actually from Foil from Hobby Lobby, because I was having so many issues with that last roll of copper foil. I have a Summerween collection that I'm working on, so it's like spooky ghosts and all that good stuff. That's what's going on back here. But I'm very excited to try this. There's a learning curve with it. Have you gotten, I know you did the kits. Did you, and that includes copper foil, which I would imagine is the same brand that they sell in the roll. I'm curious to see if you had luck with it. It is definitely thicker than the copper foil that I was using. And although I really like it overall, when you have to go over a spot, like to fix a crack, it doesn't work. So I'm finding that I can use this to wrap it, and then I'll use that other foil that I had, and I'll fix the cracks with that instead, and that seems to work for me. They also had like a black adhesive backing, and this is actually, we were talking about the glass at Hobby Lobby. This is actually from them. It is definitely not as great of quality. However, their prices were a lot cheaper than when I had first glanced at them. So, I mean, you can see all the little imperfections in there, but that's okay. That would be, the back of it. Um, but it's okay. It's very fragile. I don't really know the word. It didn't crack on me, but it did break a lot easier when actually breaking it. Oh, what kind of soldering iron? Was it one of like the, I'm curious, when you get it, can you let me know how that one is? And the kit itself. But I'm gonna go through. So this foil, there's definitely a learning curve with it for me specifically, and it's very difficult to foil in the setting that I'm in, but we're gonna do our very best and see what happens. It does seem like the glass itself from Hobby Lobby as well is thinner. So I'm gonna see how that adjustment works for me. And I'm just already struggling. I was outside for a very long time today, and I think it just kind of messed up my whole thing, my whole day. I also noticed that I was having issues with the foil itself sticking to my glass. So this time I washed it, and when it's after grinding, yes, please let me know. I'm very curious about it. After grinding, there's not a lot of residue on it that you really have to worry about. It's the after soldering that you need to worry about it or consider it. And so I didn't think that this was like the washing it was the step that was an issue, but to test out this theory, I washed it like normal, and I used rubbing alcohol before I came on live to kind of see it's a little bit uneven, to see if that helped it adhere a little bit better. But mostly there is just this learning curve with this specific foil because it's a little bit thicker than the one that I'm used to. You can see that my edges are really off. Something is just not clicking with me today. We're blaming it on the heat. I almost have everything ready to for that live where I want to do sort of like a step by step and show kind of all of the processes for stained glass. I have one more to finish up. Did you really? Okay, so the kits themselves have the pre-cut glass then. That's awesome. Can I make a huge suggestion to you for I think that's so wonderful. It's so intimidating to do it, but good for you. I would highly suggest if you have like old maybe picture frames or I don't window not windows because that's probably too thick of a glass, but if you have like old picture frames, practice cutting on there, not for the quality of the glass itself, like that's not, you're going to just get comfortable with the tools and it's going to save you a little bit more money when you're first getting started with it. That is how we started the very first time in the class that I took, and it was a lot of fun because you're not really concerned about the quality of the glass when you do that. But if you use like old picture frames, that type of glass, because it's a little bit thinner, and you get a feel for your tools, it'll save you money with your actual stained glass. But how fun, did you do that today? So I'm just going through and pressing it. So I will say too, this one's a lot more difficult the curves are a lot harder to work with. And I really struggle with burnishing it in there. And I'm not sure how it's gonna go with these little curves down here. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. How exciting. Are you just practicing in general then, or do you have like a pattern that you had kind of printed out or ordered online that you wanted to test out and see it, if you could create it? I did find out that I mean, when you start to kind of gather your supplies, when you get more into it and stuff, you'll see the difference in the quality of the glass. But to start with, I think the Hobby Lobby one was a good idea because it's super inexpensive. And this one's from there. I didn't have any white, so I had to run out. And this is all they had. It has a cool like wispy design in it, but the actual quality of it, you can see little imperfections. Succulent. All right, that's a great one. I haven't done that. Is it a 3D pattern or is it a just like a flat one? But good for you. That's so exciting. I hope you post it. I don't know, this platform's weird because you can't really see everything, but I would love to see it. I haven't done a succulent yet. Or those Montera leaves are very popular too. $3D. Girl, you're going for it. Good for you. Thank you. Hi, Tracy. Sue was just telling me, yeah, that she's cutting her cut glass for the first time. So exciting. I was terrible at it. One day I'll pull out my first ever stained glass piece. Horrible at it. And I loved every second of it. Just keep going though. It's so much fun. I almost got one of the kits at Hobby Lobby, but they didn't have the cow. I wanted to try the Highlander cow because I know somebody that would really want it. And I kind of want to just test it out and see what the quality of everything is inside of those kits. So I will say this foil itself, I did solder some of it, so I know that it does adhere properly, but it is so difficult to find that perfect angle to burnish it. Right, Tracy? You just keep going with it. And eventually everything kind of clicks. I mean, my curves are still so, I wish I had one before I did it on the grinder. My curves are still so terrible. Like sharp edges and not great. So I can tell there's a little piece down here I'm gonna have to fix. That's okay. And if anybody has an actual name brand or brand on copper foil that they like using, I would love to hear about it, because I've only gotten it on Amazon and now Hobby Lobby, and both I kind of am not really happy with. This one's a little bit better. I know it's gonna stick a lot better than that last one, because I was really having some issues where when I went to solder it would just kind of peel up, and it was really terrible. But I almost have everything ready for that. I just have to decide when I want to go live with it, where I'm going to do a little bit of everything in making a full stained glass piece. It's outside right now, but it's going to be a little tulip design. Yeah, so I didn't have that fear. My mom and I took a class together for the very first time. She did not like stained glass at all. She said she would never do it again. And I immediately bought everything to continue the process. And that was her fear too. She was just terrified of it going into her hand or cutting herself. I don't know if I was just ignorant, like I just wasn't thinking about it, but I never really feared that, which is a problem now because I cut myself all the time. And it doesn't really scare me. Small pieces do when you break them. So like I can feel these little pieces down here that just are not going in. And that's kind of why I don't like this foil. I wish there was a way to show you up close, but you really can only tell based on feeling it. This side is burnished in really well. And right down here, you can feel there's a little bit of a lip on it. And so you really just got to find that perfect angle. And your burnishing tools have different angles on them too. So you just kind of work with them. It doesn't want to break. Is there enough oil, cutting oil on your actual tool? I like to dip mine. I don't know if you had seen that one or not, but I don't fill my cutting tool with oil. They just leak everywhere. So I just leave my cap out, and I'll fill the cap with oil and then just dip it. And that seems to work a lot better. But I'm curious do you see like the score line on there? Because it doesn't take a ton of pressure to make that score line, especially with this glass. It broke pretty easy, so I'm surprised by that. But we'll figure it out. I'm going to help you. We're going to figure out what's going on. Yeah, the grinder. I know. I will say I have gotten more cuts from the grinder than anything else. Now I definitely wear gloves all the time with the grinder. Oh, that's why. That's also. That's why it's not cutting then. So they have something called glass cutting oil. You absolutely need to get some because you'll never be able to make stained glass otherwise, like a piece of it. But I do think if Hobby Lobby is the only option you have around you, they definitely have some. It's just called glass cutting oil. They're like 10 bucks or less, and you can get them online too. Like Amazon has them, or I haven't noticed a difference in quality. They range from like $7 to $10, and it lasts you quite a bit of time. But that's exactly what's going on then. So that'll be an easy fix for you. And then once you use the cutting oil, I want an update on how it went, because you'll be able to hear that score line. You'll be able to see the score line. No cooking oil. It's called cutting oil, and it will be a game changer for you. Now I gotta think of like if there's something else I can give you as a pointer. but that's all it is then. So with your tools then, do you have rubber? That's a good idea. You know what, I have something similar. They have like those little finger gloves. I think they're probably the exact same thing or like very similar, and that's what I've been using. And I put a vinyl glove underneath and then cover it with those little gloves, and that seems to be working. Sue, do you have like, you have your cutter then, your cutting tool. You're gonna get some cutting oil because you'll never be able to break it otherwise. And grousers would be cool. I don't know if you have those or not. Those will help you tremendously too in breaking it. Running pliers, I think eventually I would absolutely recommend it, but they're not a necessity. I didn't have them for my first like 20 projects probably. That's an exaggeration. Probably the first like 8 projects because I didn't know I had the wrong tool. And I made do without those. But grousers you'll definitely need to. But I need an update now when you get your cutting oil. So this foil, not a huge fan of it, but kind of in it. I just get really concerned with these edges because I can feel them not totally burnished down. Two circles on it, like circle cutters. So you can cut out the circles perfectly. I don't have one of those if that's what it is, but I would like to use one. Right, Tracy? It's gonna be night and day. Her glass is gonna be breaking so easily. I just want to make sure that all my little signs are in there. And normally I would just spend time and go through and fix the cracks. Like I know there's a crack down here that I have to fix, but my lighting is not the greatest in here. And honestly, I have to get a little bit closer. And I just don't have that filming set up. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. And then I am gonna do the overlay to make eyes on there, which I'm very excited about. I've been practicing my overlays and learning quite a bit. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm curious if that works for stained glass. I do know what that is now. I think it's for like chipping off the edges of your glass too, or it can be used for that if that's what I'm thinking of. But one of them is like tile cutting or a tile cutting tool. But I know what you're talking about. They like kind of break off the edges and crack it. I'd be curious to know how that works too for your actual stained glass once you get to cutting a little bit more, if you use it and if you like it or not. Yeah, I know the tool that you're talking about now. Yes, so these are going to be little ghosts. I started doing a Summerween collection, and I have like cauldrons and little like spell books and ghosts. So these are going to be little ghosts. Now this is the first time that I don't have any sort of like a point where it connects at, and I'm a little bit concerned. I know they are so lightweight that it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be an issue, but I normally would hang the hook where that line connects. So it's kind of just going to be sitting up there. And also, I did get restrip. Maybe you'd be able to answer this or not. And I don't know if I should use restrip, if it would even do anything on just a small section where I put the hook, or if it's pointless. That's my biggest concern with them. I was wondering why you hadn't really responded because I talked about it a little bit and I was like, oh, maybe she's not interested. I know my Wi-Fi is still having so many issues when I'm outside working on stuff. I liked it. I liked, is it Maximus, the horse, when he turned, um, like in favor of, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, when he kind of won over the horse, or the horse won them over? No, they won over the horse. I did. I liked it though. I wasn't expecting the graphics to be like more computerized. I thought they would have been a little bit more like animated, but I thought it was really cute. And I thought you said the flower was purple, but it was like this yellow purple. Which if I can find glass like that or figure out how to make it out of the yellow and the purple, I'll try to make one for sure. And is that Mandy Moore's voice? I forgot to look it up. Now that we're talking again, I realized I didn't actually look it up. So there's a lot of breaks in the bottom here. And I know it is from how thick this copper is. And I can tell this side is going to be off a little bit, but at least it's consistently a little off. Okay, yeah. I tried looking it up. Thank you for that. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find a ton of information on it. With, oh gosh, with the hook itself, everybody said that it was just lightweight. When they're this small, you don't really, it's not really a concern. But I just like to double check, you know? Because if in a year it's going to fall apart, I don't want that to happen either. Have you used Restrip before, Tracy? I just got some because I made my nephew an airplane and it's full of hinge points. So I wrapped it in copper wire and then I wanted to do another version to test out if UCame would hold it up a little bit better, but the entire piece just fell apart on me. And so I didn't get around to it. It's currently in a box that I never want to look at again. Just kidding. But I got Restrip, and so I'm going to try that instead on there. But I'd love tips on using Restrip because I'm still a little bit confused. Some people say to wrap your entire piece in it. Some people say only the hinge points. Does it? And I'm kind of gathering it might just matter based on the piece itself. She is? Okay, yeah, thank you. I thought that was her, which makes sense for the timeline too when it came out. It was a cute movie though. I would watch it again. Yeah. So when you, I know you said you were, I thought you, Tracy, I thought you said you made stained glass for a while now. I could be getting confused though. Are you, because you gave me tips on it too, on different things. So do you just make pieces where it's kind of just, you never had to use it before? Oh, nothing compares to The Lion King. That will never take over for me. That's my movie. But I will say that I would watch Tangled again, which is a compliment. But definitely not as much as I watched The Lion King. It's a huge crack in this one. So I'm honestly kind of just testing out the foil for this one. It takes so much longer to burnish it, and it's so much more difficult to find that perfect angle It cracks a lot easier. I know it's really hard to see. It just looks like a little bend in it, but there's a big crack right here. So because when I go over it with the same thickness of the foil, it doesn't burnish in quite as well. I'm going to use my old copper foil, which seems to work perfectly fine to fix the cracks in it, and I'll go over it and I'll fix it with that instead. Because when I use the regular copper foil, it just never fully gets pressed down. So I definitely need to try another brand, but this was something that I just got in a pinch because I don't have a local glass shop, which is such a bummer. Although with how popular it's getting, I'm kind of hoping that one pops up closer to me. My friend is actually going tomorrow to buy an entire studio, like glass studio, glass. They had a kiln, everything. I'm so jealous. She's spending a ton of money on it though. Like, you're crazy. But I will probably try to film some of her glass because some of it's vintage. Oh, I'm so jealous. But she does let me go to her glass collection and take whatever I need, so I'm very happy for her too. Sit on bases. Okay, that makes sense then, yeah. Okay. But you do the copper foil still? Or do you do copper foil? You don't do lead cane, right? And do you make your own bases? Because I have questions about that too. I do, yeah. I am fascinated by it. I think that like church windows and stuff, they use paint or different materials on it. So although it's beautiful and stunning and I appreciate every ounce of the artwork that goes into there, um, I think there's different styles of stained glass. And I think it's kind of like cheating when people paint on it. I think church windows is a bad example, but people that, um, I think like fused glass is a little bit different too. Like when I talk about stained glass, I'm talking about just regular old stained glass, right? Cheating. Just kidding. I mean, they make beautiful pieces. I am in Tennessee and in downtown Nashville. Somebody who is at Eric Church opened a bar, and he's got like stained glass windows. And I was so excited. Somebody told me about them. They were like, "You gotta go check it out. It's not real stained glass." And it was so disappointing when I saw it. But that would have been so cool. So I don't know if you can see, there's little cracks there. So I have to go over it and fix those. Figure that out. Tracy, do you make your own bases for your pieces? Do you do woodworking as well? Or do you purchase them somewhere? Yeah. Yeah, I'm amazed at how large of pieces people will make with the copper foil method instead of doing the lead game version. Um, there is definitely going to be a learning curve with it, but like I've done 2 pieces now with lead game, 2 or 3, just 2. And I forgot the differences because it was the very first attempt I had ever done with stained glass. And I forgot how different the process of actually like using the lead came was and how unforgiving it is. With like copper foil, you can hide everything, you know, with the solder, usually hides so much. Lead came, you have to be more precise. um, and you can't just kind of like, if you cut your cane and there's too much of a gap, you can't just fill it in with solder. It's very different. So my pieces with lead cane are not good, but eventually I would like to kind of spend more time figuring out how to do that and get better at it. Do you follow who is it? Light Lead Designs, I think is his name. Light Leaded. He makes stunning pieces, and it just makes it look so smooth and easy. Like, he doesn't even use a grinder. He just uses what I think is grousers, but like a more pointed version of them, and he just kind of goes through and snips it off. I highly recommend checking him out. He will impress you, or he impressed me at least. I watch his techniques and I'm like, how do you do this? I can't even cut a curve without just breaking it in a ton of pieces. Oh, I didn't think about that with the 3D pieces. That's a good idea. Thank you for sharing that. I wouldn't have thought about that. Because I've been looking at even like bookends or like corner pieces. I love the designs of them. Struggling with this piece here. I love the designs of them, and even just sort of like candle votive holders, but I never know how to display them. 3D printing was a good idea. I think it's either light leaded designs or lead light designs. He's based in the UK, I believe. Light leaded designs. He should pop up because he has quite the following. But when he uses the soldering tool that he uses has real fire. Like, it's wild to watch. He uses some old school techniques, but beautiful work. Stunning. Sorry, I got quite a bit of a mess back here today, and everything's just falling apart on me. Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly don't drink juice. Is that a bad answer? What do you prefer? But if I had to, fresh orange juice, not like fake orange juice. Real orange juice. And Sue, I really hope that you post. It stinks on this platform because, like, you can't really post. I mean, I guess that's intentional. It's a filming platform. But I would love to see, like, once you get that cutting oil, how your stuff is going. Yeah, it's fascinating. When you watch him, you're gonna be, if that didn't like spark your memory of kind of seeing some of his videos, then I don't think you've seen him before. But when you watch him, you're gonna be amazed. So I'm gonna try to kind of slowly press this in this time and see if that helps. I've seen videos where people talk about warming up your copper foil, and some people said that's just nonsense, but especially around the curves, and kind of pressing it in more slowly instead of just going for it. But I think this copper foil is too thick to do that. Real orange juice, right? None of that fake stuff. Pineapple juice. I like pineapple juice when it's mixed with coconut water. That's how I drink my pineapple juice. By itself reminds me of too many poor decisions in my drinking days. I don't know what Discord is, so I don't have one. I feel like it's an app, like a message board app, though. Is that what it is? So there's some kind of way when they press this in, people will go through and just slowly press this in. I think this foil is just a little too thick, though, and it's gonna crack on me no matter what. Right? and it's healthy for you. Gotta stay hydrated. So I think I used to be on Discord for like I didn't have one, but I subscribed to somebody, but it was not very organized, if that's what I'm thinking of. So I don't know that I would ever really use it again, but um is that like what you use then? Or is there like somebody on there that you wanted to suggest following? Curious why you brought up Discord. I just remember if that's the one, I did not have a great experience on it. It's very confusing and overwhelming, I should say. So if you can get that right angle with this, it smooths out really easily and nicely, but finding that angle is not easy. I wish that I had my flower inside so that I could show what I was going to do on the next live, where it's going to be the step-by-step. I think it's going to be good. I wanted to do it live because then I don't have to worry about editing, which sounds really weird. I mean, I have a ton of content where I could do a step-by-step as just a video, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do like a real-time stained glass cutting. And then you can kind of have that repeat, like it gets posted automatically on the back end. But when it's live, you can't edit out your mistakes. So I'm a little bit nervous about it. But I'm almost done with the prep work for it. I'm very excited about it. Not so excited about this foil. Excuse me. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have it. I know I definitely don't have it anymore, but that makes sense what it's for then, because when I was on there, it was very complicated and overwhelming. If you're comfortable, I think on this platform, there's like a post tab where you can post actual just pictures, and I can check them out on there. Because I mean, honestly, I don't use social media anymore for personal use anyway, in general. But I know on here, there's a post. I don't know if everybody has it. Every account should have it. So you could post a picture on there. If that's something you're comfortable with. I don't know, because I think it's public. So I learned with the copper foil overlay. I was watching some videos on using copper wire because I thought some of these, not this specific one, but have a different spooky design, like a ghost design. And if I used copper wire to just make like little lines that come up to add a little bit more character to it. So I'm gonna try that on a different ghost pattern that I have. But the copper foil overlay I did for the very first time, and I've done it 2 more times since then, and it was super easy once I figured it out. Smaller designs are really difficult to work with in the way that I do it because I don't have the proper equipment or tools. Or I shouldn't say that. I don't have the tools that make it easier to work with. But once I did it, I wonder if I can grab it and show you what it was. Hang on, let me see if I can find it in here. Okay, so this was my third attempt at a copper foil overlay. It's a little bit hard to see, but these were so difficult to work with. I did another one that had a crescent moon on it. That was a little bit easier, But what I learned was it definitely depends on the copper foil that you're using. Some people say that you never need to glue it down. I don't see that ever happening. Like, I will always glue it down. The second that my solder hit the copper foil, it just kind of peeled up and nothing was going to stick down to that. But also somebody said that the people that don't glue it are the ones that are attaching their copper foil to the edging. So it's attached somewhere, so that's why it's not peeling up on there. I thought that was interesting. But it's pretty easy to do. It's just, and the glue was pretty messy the next morning, I guess, which would have been today. So I was very nervous because it was a special request. Somebody actually grabbed that from me. But I wasn't sure how the glue was going to clean up, but it turned out to be perfectly fine. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more, get more practice of that. Thank you. Yeah, so the original one I did was a moon, and then somebody, and I didn't know if it was real or not, if it was like a spam thing, but she was, can you make one with stars? And I said, sure. So she ended up loving it, which is cool. Very exciting. And then this one, this is where I was talking about the, this is for my nephew. So all of this is just wax that I have to, those little spots. The wax that I'm using, I think I just got the wrong wax. I got it because somebody else who makes stained glass, who is also a beginner, so I should have known at that point, was talking a little bit about it. But this is just filled with hinge points. So the actual solder on here, it looks so messy in like one of my very first projects, but I had to do copper wire overlay around the entire thing. I don't know how people do it, or I don't know. It was a disaster, but it's reinforced, and that's what matters. And so then I got restrip, and so I want to try restrip on the other one that fell apart on me. I am still concerned with how I'm going to get into these little tiny spots when I redo that. I mean, look at how terrible this is, but it's really because of the overlay. I mean, it's for my nephew. He's like 5. He's not going to care or know any different. But that's the one that I was working on with that, and I want to try the restrip on the other design of it. The solder is, you can get, it's called patina. There are certain things I highly recommend that you kind of look up how to prep your solder for patina, because one day I'll get my older projects and kind of show you the difference, so you can see the mistakes that I made and not do what I did. But the biggest thing is, once you're done soldering, you want to clean your piece really, really well, and that's to get all the flux off. So I have not figured out the perfect way yet. Like, my solder, the black patina, is still not as good as I want it to be. I use Dawn dish soap. I scrub it really, really well. I use rubbing alcohol, not together, separately. But the biggest thing for the patina to look and stay fresh and that black is going to be prepping the solder. I do want to try a baking soda mix and see if that works. But I would just look up videos on how to prep your solder for it. And I don't recommend using copper patina until you're a little bit more comfortable with it and learn sort of how to prep it. Because the copper, and I only know this from my very first project, which was horrific, the copper patina is very finicky. And you can also leave it silver too. I personally have not yet, just because I feel like it's not gonna stay that shiny, and the black also hides all of my imperfections. So I just like the black patina for better. And then once you actually finish it, you want to seal it with some sort of wax. I've been using this mag something. It's like a car wax. But I am definitely going to get something else. They say to use something with what is it, caribou wax is what you're supposed to make sure it has in it. But that's going to prevent, for the most part, like that white mold that sometimes grows or that patina kind of fading out. It just kind of helps it seal it together. Oh yes, yes, and follow safety. Wear gloves. Absolutely wear gloves. Yeah, so this foil is definitely just kind of what I have right now, but I don't think I would ever buy it again unless I had no other choice. There's a brand that I see people posting about that is it's like a brown, I can see it in my head. It's like a copper logo. And that seems to be the one that a lot of people recommend. So I definitely want to try it. But I haven't picked any up yet. And I think honestly it's just because I don't have a local shop. I mean, I don't think I would call it a hobby, but I recently started running, like training for 5K. My final like training is 2 more runs from now. And I think the app is a liar because I don't see it happening without walking a little bit. But other than that, no, I mean, I'm pretty typical travel. I do a lot of quirky stuff, just living life. I think you get to an age and just do whatever I want to do. I don't know that I have like hobbies though. What about you? What do you like to do? Or do you have like other hobbies? Do you crochet or anything? Thank you, Tracy. It's really weird to talk about, especially on the internet. But I have never been a runner in my entire life, and so it's been interesting, but fun and weird. What about you, Sue? What kind of hobbies do you have? I don't know if there's a lag on this. And sometimes my Wi-Fi cuts out and I don't even know what's going on. Is there any, also, to anybody, is there any like certain step of stained glass that you'd want to see more of or anything? Oops. My stuff's just falling everywhere. You tried to crochet and failed? Which also, try it again. Why not? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Video games. Yep. Scrapbook. I used to scrapbook. Um, what do you mean though specifically for your school? Like, do you, I used to just make scrapbooks for like myself or my friends. Is that something that's like yearbook, sort of? That's cool. If it was crocheting, I hope you try it again. Unless you didn't enjoy it. I am curious how this one's gonna solder with some of these. I think they'll be hidden just fine. Like, that's not a crack in it. It's just this weird foil. So I find out tomorrow how it works. Interesting. Good for you. I've never like heard of that before. That's pretty cool. Good for you. So I think that I'm going to hop off, but oh my gosh, thank you guys so much, or gals, so much for being here and engaging with me and sitting while I do this. If there's something specific that like you want to see about stained glass during a live, or even like a longer video, please let me know. I post like polls to kind of figure out what people are interested in watching. It seems like cutting glass is the most popular thing. Unfortunately, it is so hot out right now. I don't know that I can do that too often. Like, my phone can't even handle it to film it outside. And I don't have enough projects where cutting would last me very long, but I would love to. Grinding is the only thing that I probably will never show, for the only reason that I don't have a setup for it. I have a couple of short snippets I could probably share, but also it's just really loud. So that's honestly the only reason that I don't do it. But there are, on this platform even, if you look up grinding stained glass, you'll get a lot of shorts, and I think that'll help you kind of better understand what the process is or the proper way to do it. That's a good question. And probably like the only thing I wouldn't do, just because it's loud and messy. Or even like a pattern maybe. I know we talked about the flower. That's going to take me a while to figure out how to even make it. But if there's like a pattern that you'd want to see made, just always looking for different ideas. That's what I do too. Yeah. Headphones all the way for it. And I don't mind doing it. Like, a lot of people talk about how that's like their least favorite part. I mean, obviously the wearing gloves helps now from not getting hurt while doing it. But yeah, you just put on headphones and zone out. Good night, Sue. Thank you so much for jumping in here. And I hope you like your new job still. Just want to make sure I get all these little pieces in so I don't forget when I go to fix it. But this is going to be a new one for me for soldering for sure. To not have any lines or points in it, to figure out where to put that hook. Hope that my copper foil overlay works properly. Doing like a single piece is very different. It seems unfinished, if that makes sense. Me too. Somebody was talking about how they encourage people to tack their pieces as they're foiling, I think it is. Is it foiling or grinding? Like grinding and foiling. And I was just like, how do you even clean up your mess while you're doing so many things at once? But I agree. And I'm noticing that with grinding, specifically for me, there's something going on where I think that the pieces fit really well together. And then I go to foil them and I come outside again to solder and they just don't match up at all. So I don't know what that's about. I do think that maybe there's like water or something kind of getting stuck in there, and with the sediment or whatever it would be from the glass, maybe it's giving the illusion that it fits, but there's really big gaps in it. But I'm definitely finding that something is going on when I'm grinding that's not allowing me to become more accurate, I guess. Well, I am going to call this an evening. Thank you so much, Tracy and Sue and everybody for joining, and I love the conversations. It makes it a little less awkward being back here. And I do plan on doing one where I'm going to do like a full start to finish stained glass project this week sometime. I just don't know when, what time to do it at, what time of the week, what time of the day to put it on. But foiling is just a lot easier to do inside. So I thought I'd jump on and see what happened. But I so appreciate you being here. And it was great conversation and learning, and it was just a really nice night. So I'm glad that I decided to come on here. But I am going to head out. Yeah. So thank you so much, and have a good night, Tracy. See you next time.